Good afternoon, Knights. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sabrina Hansen, and today is Thursday, April 9th, 2026. Here's your Charge on Air update. UCF PhD students are finding new ways to fight viruses. They found that a host protein called SERPA could limit infection from viruses transmitted by mosquitoes. Charge on Air reporter Gabriela Scazafava tells us the research could help people stay healthy as viral infections risk growth.
First-year PhD student Natalia Hansen spends about 30 hours per week in a viral cell interactions lab at the Burnett School of Biomedical Sciences. Hansen and her lab mates found that the SERPA protein in cells can prevent the infection of viruses like Zika, Mayaro, and dengue. Hansen focuses on the immune response to viruses. She says SERPA can regulate inflammatory immune responses to infections.
And we do want to have a nice immune response against viral infections because we want to defend ourselves. However, inflammation due to the immune response will also cause harm in our cells.
Zika, Mayaro, and dengue viruses are transmitted by Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus mosquitoes. The CDC says these species are already here across Florida. They can't predict if the mosquitoes are carrying viruses, but our climate and global warming make conditions increasingly favorable for them.
First-year PhD student in the lab, Maria Paz Garcia, completed her undergraduate thesis on SERPA-derived peptides. She says the peptides could lead to treatment options.
So that could be actually really useful if we wanted to develop a certain therapy based on these peptides because they are able to lower infection.
While making these solutions a reality will take time, Hansen says the lab's progress is promising. In Orlando, Gabriela Scazafava, The Charge on Air.
The lab says they are continuing this line of research to find out what other impacts SERPA can have. A major transportation bill in Florida is now dead after failing to make it through the Senate. Senate Bill 1220 included sweeping changes from highway speed limits to transportation infrastructure, but lawmakers couldn't reach a final agreement before the legislative session ended. Reporter Santiago Molina explains what happened and how it could impact drivers across the state.
Florida Senate Bill 12220, a wide-range transportation proposal, initially gained strong momentum in both chambers. The bill passed the Senate with overwhelming support and later cleared the House by an 87-23 vote after amendments were added. Among the most notable changes are raising highway speed limits to 80 miles per hour and updated transportation infrastructure and regulations. According to legislative records, the bill died in returning messages, meaning lawmakers ran out of time to reconcile differences.
It's not uncommon for a bill to be introduced and fail, and be introduced and fail, and be introduced, right? And you might have to introduce it 3, 4, 5 years in a row before you finally get it through that entire process. So I wouldn't say that this idea is gone. It just didn't make it through the obstacle course this time around.
For student commuters, the bill raised mixed reactions, balancing convenience with concerns about safety and traffic conditions.
Sure, I think it's kind of a risky move because honestly, you can see it nowadays, especially in the Orlando area and other parts of Florida, that students and young people, they like to go above the speed limit.
If you're thinking about hitting 80 miles per hour legally on your next Florida road trip, you might want to hold your horses. The clash between the Senate and the House of Representatives was not only about ego, but about safety and traffic rules.
Transportation experts also warned that increasing speed limits can come with risk. According to spokesman Mark Jenkins, AAA does not endorse raising the speed limit. Even though this bill won't become law this session, it sparked a larger conversation about how Florida should handle growing traffic demands and road safety. In Orlando, I'm Santiago Molina.
Lawmakers are expected to return later this year for a special session focused on the state budget, where similar proposals could resurface. Any changes would have to start the process all over again. Now let's take a look at today's weather. Today's high is 74 degrees with overcast skies and a 70% chance of rain. Tonight the low is a nice 65 degrees with a lower chance of rain, so you may need a heavy coat tonight, possibly an umbrella. Tomorrow's high is 77 degrees with partly sunny skies and a 0% chance of rain. Finally, some good weather tomorrow. Be sure to tune in on The Charge on Air for a look at the weekend forecast and the week ahead. That's all the time we have for now. Make sure to keep up with all that's happening throughout the week by following us on the Instagram @TheChargedNews. And check back here tomorrow for another news update. I'm Sabrina Hansen. Thanks for watching and have a great day.